Dicey Performance is recorded at Umeå Folkuniversitet. It contains adult themes and adult language. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of Dicey Performance Apocalypse World. Here to harboring in the end of all times is me, the game master, or in this case, the master of ceremonies, as this game refers to me as, Jakob Säfsten. And with me, I have four unfortunate survivors, starting with...
Jens Gabrielsson.
Verona Krit.
Alexander Sten.
Tialda Vries.
Hey guys,
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
welcome.
Thanks.
I'm not sure you're welcome.
I'm trying to be as welcoming as I can, you know. It's a rough time out there.
You're doing great.
Oh, thank you. See, it's great. We're 30 seconds in, I'm already getting compliments. I feel like this is gonna go well.
Do they mean it though?
I don't know. I have, full disclosure, I have roleplayed with Jens in the past, and he's usually sincere. Or he's been playing the long con for like over a year now.
You'll never know.
Big goof.
Alright, well, but how are you guys doing? How are we feeling today?
Pretty solid, all things considered. Though I will say, walking in here is a little bit like, you know, like entering a building after being handed a very flowery invitation card that says, "Have you considered Scientology?"
Yeah, I mean we are recording in a new setup. We are in the library of the Umeå Folkuniversitet today, which honestly is a great setting for what we're about to do.
It's very pretty.
Yeah.
It's so tiny.
Different
many
perspectives, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it's pretty.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you call this tiny, but we used to record in this very, very cramped booth with two of the cast members having to share a microphone. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Luxury.
it was
I
a
know.
pre-corona world. Everything was crazy, you know.
Good times.
Everything's changed now.
Yeah, these days we all just record on phones.
If anyone's listened to session 0 and wonder why it is wildly different from this one, it's because it's recorded on my phone, and I apologize. And I'm glad if you listen through it. However, I think that we should get going. We should start off. And since we have both the Hocus and the Hardholder in this game, before the game even starts, we're gonna need some dice rolls from you. Because Verona's character, who we're gonna be introduced to later, is the, like, de facto political leader of this situation. So she's gonna roll a dice to see how well that leadership is going.
Okay.
And Alexander's character, who is a cult leader?
I mean, the Scientology joke earlier was intentional.
Is gonna roll to see how well the cult is doing. So let's start off with Verona. You're rolling plus hard,
Okay.
so whatever number you have on the hard skill, that's what you add to the roll.
Cool. So I got a 6 on the dice roll and plus 2, so that's an 8.
All right. And can you read what it says on the fortune skill regarding an 8? Yeah, there. An 8 is the best result on this, by the way, because it means we're gonna get some wants.
Ooh, exciting.
Not all is well in the political spectrum
It's
of
not.
the apocalypse.
Pretty much.
Who would have guessed?
So you want to tell us, just read verbatim what it says, what the skill says? It's called
the-
like wealth or fortune
Yeah, okay.
or something
Yes,
like that.
there it is. Sorry. If your hold is secure and your rule unchallenged, at the beginning of the session, roll plus hard. On a 10 plus, you have to surplus at hand and available for the needs of the session. On a
She
7,
did not get 10 plus.
No, but I did get an 8. And on a 7 to 9, you have surplus, but choose one want. On a miss, or if your hold is compromised, or your rule contested, your hold is in want.
Okay.
The-
So what this means is that your hold you have surplus.
Yeah.
So whatever it says that your surplus is, you get that immediately. So you can add that to your character.
Okay.
But you have to choose one of the wants to be true.
Oh.
Can you tell us about the wants of your holding?
Hunger and savagery?
Okay, so would you like people to be hungry, or
Or
would you
savage.
like people to be savage this session?
I feel like... Fuck, I'd go with savage.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Verona's army is currently suffering savagery. This will change things. And let's go over to Alexander and roll for your cult.
Of course.
And you get roll +1, I think.
Yeah, that's a failure.
You got a failure?
That's a double one.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Goodness
no.
gracious. Can you tell us what that means for your cult?
Of course. The system is very much the same. In this case, I have the exact same thing. Either they have surplus and want, or they just have want. In
What are
this
you-
case,
What
they
are your wants?
savagery, desertion, and disease.
Oh my god.
So, and I get to pick one of those.
No, if it's in want, that means that every single want is triggered. If you get the 7 to 9, you pick one of them. If you get 6 or less, which you did right now, all wants are on the table.
To quote a great thinker before my time, fuck.
Big goof.
So there's savagery in Verona's army, and there's savagery in Alexander's cult. There's also, what was the other ones?
Disease and desertion. The last one, shocking.
Corona.
This is gonna be good.
Okay, so the entire game starts off in a very uncertain time, but with that, I think we have what we need to start playing the game. And for anyone who hasn't listened to this before, I usually narrate this very much like a TV series. So just imagine you're sitting down at the sofa, you got your bucket of popcorn, and you are about to watch a show. The screen suddenly blasts open with light as we see a breaking news sign unfolding. A very stressed reporter is reading off a teleprompter, shouting about civil unrest in almost every major Swedish city. A cut to another news prompter talking about how the recent drop in temperature has caused several hundreds of thousands of deaths. Another newscaster standing outside the House of Parliament in Stockholm as people are throwing burning rocks at it, and the screen fades to black. Text appears reading, the 12th of June, 2076. And then snow starts to fall over the screen. We see a massive snowstorm laying a white blanket over the now semi-ruined city of Umeå. But in the distance, there is a big source of light. And as the camera zooms in towards it, we see a large gathering of people standing on a bridge half melted off. Underneath the bridge, where once the Umeå River ran, is a field of fire, with waves of flame cascading through the river, licking at the supports of the now ruined bridge. At the precipice of the bridge, we see a large gathering of people. At the further back, they are standing with big coats, like shielding against the raging blizzard. But as the people get closer and closer to the bridge and to the fire sea below it, people have begun to take off their clothes. And at the very front row, most of them are standing almost entirely naked, their bodies dripping with sweat from the intense heat rising up from the Umeå River. And at the very front, facing this large gathering, we see two men. One of them with a bag over his head, his arms tied to a metal bar over his head, and his body covered with bruises and cuts. Him also sweating profusely. And standing next to him, we see another man with perfect crystal white albino skin, wearing a red suit jacket and pants, and he looks to be like maybe in his late 20s, early 30s, and he seems to be addressing this crowd. And he says, "After much deliberation and much thought on my part, we have decided that this man," and he points towards the tied up man, "will be condemned to the fire. As he has taken so much from us, he will now give back, as we must all feed the flame, as we must all give to make sure the heat does not run out, to make sure the increpid cold does not get us. All as one we have gathered here today to ensure that justice will be done." And as he says the people in the very front row all hold up their arms in supplication, and in unison they shout, "For the good of the fire, for the good of all." And as they do this, the camera pans into the larger audience. And which of the four of you do we stop at first? Who is standing closest to the front, basically?
I suppose I could be standing relatively close, observing the proceedings through a few heads, I imagine.
Yeah, so you're like 3, 4, 5 rows back.
A few people do.
What do you look like? Like when the camera stops at you, what is it we see?
We see what would normally be a hooded visage, currently pulled back as a matter of heat has dictated. It is a man, seemingly in his 30s, though it is a little vague to determine just where. Relatively smooth skin and unkept facial hair, and bronzed skin to go with it. He has a set of tattoos covering a fair portion of his face, the right side with what at first glance looks almost like an oxen's skull being branded onto his cheekbone. The other side of the face seeming more burnt to some degree, patches of it with hair missing, with pinkish, relatively raw skin, and there is no hair on his head to speak of.
And what does he look like as you see this congregation?
He is passive but disapproving, the way a parent might disapprove of the children in the playground playing a bit rough, but not rough enough to be interjected.
I see. And I think we see beside you, we see a rather heavy-set man who is standing, like, growling, like, very displeased at this. And he's like, nudging you to do something. It's like, aren't we gonna stop this? Aren't we gonna stop this shit?
My dear Jeff, I assure you the time will come when these barbaric displays are put to an end, but for now we must be patient. Virtue is, after all, something to be displayed, not expected of others.
Yeah, you say so, I guess. I just want to wreck some skulls, but no, we'll play it cool. And the camera pans on from you, and we find someone else in this crowd.
I think François wants to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Because, gossip is kind of his lifeblood. He needs to have gossip to spread it and to know it, to bargain with it.
So where in this line do we see François? Like how close to the sacrifice are you?
Well, not close enough to be sweaty, because François doesn't like his clothes to be sweaty. He doesn't want to ruin his fine white suit.
Describe this man, this François, to us.
So he's of average height, handsome, older gentleman with a neat, dark gray hair and surprisingly tanned skin, despite the lack of sun.
And what do you look like right now? Like what's your facial expression as we get the first glimpse of this character?
He's looking with interest at what's going on, squinting, the faint smile on his face.
Is he there alone?
I imagine he's standing next to
Fluffy Betty,
next
right?
to Fluffy Betty.
Okay, yeah. So the camera just pans
Yes.
I imagine, because we've established Fluffy Betty to be quite tall,
Yeah.
So the camera pans like sideways up. So
and
we
up,
just
and
yeah.
up. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would guess the same. Yeah. And
So
I think I'm quite bored.
yeah.
I'm not as interested. I might look sad, but don't let it fool you. I'm quite bored with it. I mean, it's as usual, right? I mean,
But
I
like
don't necessarily care for the dude, so
okay, yeah.
yeah.
So you're just standing there kind of nonchalantly watching this.
Yeah.
François, at the same time, he can't really see over the crowd. So I'm constantly asking Betty, what are they doing now? What can you see?
Yes.
What's going on?
Yeah, and then I just relate it back.
What do you say?
Main purpose of it. Well, I think I would go into detail more. So there's the guy with the red blazer. He's talking a lot. And then the guy who's with the pole, so the one who's gonna get thrown in, he looks confused and a bit sad. And then I would be like, yeah, but doesn't everyone who's gonna get justify that? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
So is he the guy you caught last night?
Yes, it's definitely the same dude.
Do you think he's the guy?
I'm not so sure. I wasn't sure then, and I'm not sure now, but I'm not getting paid to think, so I think I'm good.
All right, cool. And I think we cut from there. And where do we find the final person? Are you even there?
Cindy is obviously there,
Yeah.
of course, but she's not in the crowd.
Okay.
She's just off to the side, somewhere secluded. No one can really see her, but she can see everything.
Oh, so you're standing like a bit away from the bridge, just watching this entire spectacle go down?
Yes.
What do you look like?
I'm quite short, as some people would put it. She's like maximum 170 centimeters.
Yeah.
No, 160, not 170. 160. And she's very fancy in her clothing. So a white fur coat and a nice like black belt to enhance her waist, military boots, leather pants, and her hair is cut short in a asymmetrical bob.
Yeah.
And it's brown.
Okay.
And she's wearing shades.
Oh, okay. So you're really killing it with this look then. We cut over to you. We just see oh, so that's what we see. Like we cut to your face, but in your shades we see the reflection of like the ceremony going on top of the bridge.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Are you there alone, or is there someone else there?
No, I'm there alone.
Okay.
I don't like to be interrupted or disturbed or anything. So I'm just standing there really calmly, just watching, looking at the people, the chanting, and this dude in a red suit. He looks really handsome. That's what I think.
Yeah, you're giving him the like if you weren't wearing your sunglasses, we could see that you're undressing him.
Yeah, that's definitely what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So the sacrifice isn't even really there for me. I just go because of Ken or whatever the dude's name is.
You obviously know the dude's name.
Yes.
Okay. So we cut back then to Ken, as he's called, this red-wearing albino preacher man, as he goes, "Now, my brothers and sisters, my dear followers, my lights of flame in the dark, as you all know, this man that you see before us has taken 11 souls from us. He has been found guilty of the most heinous of crimes, and as such, it is our desire, no, our duty to return him to the most holy fire. But we do not do this as one. We do this as all." And the crowd parts or gets because someone is bulldozing through the crowd, carrying a large brazier that has burning coals in it, and she puts it down in front of this man tied to the pole, and there is a burning iron stuck inside the brazier. Ken continues, "Now, my gathered people, we will all condemn him to the flame, And Ken picks up this branding iron and cinches it into the flesh of the man tied to the pole as he like lets out a shriek of pain, and then pulls away. And immediately as Ken pulls away, some of his like most devout followers, the people in the front row, like start forming a line. And one by one, they take the branding iron and they plunge it into this man's skin. And once all the most devoted followers have done this, the line just continues with everyone there assembled, expected to perform this rite. We do not judge alone into the flame. We all judge into the flame. Bright Spider, you are pretty quickly it starts coming up that it's becoming your turn. What are you doing?
Bright Spider I just stay impassive.
You don't participate. Like
He doesn't participate. The line forms as the line wants, whether it includes him in the line or not. If it forms as it forms, however, he will just not interact. He will pretend it isn't there and stay watching the proceedings.
So you do not fall in line, and you suddenly feel like a shove come from behind, and you hear a woman's voice shout, "Get in line!" And it's you turn around and look, and this woman, she's one of the people who were like in the very front. And she is covered in like scars from presumably a similar branding iron. And she is looking at you aggressively.
I think you've mistaken me for someone else, madam. I have no interest in participating at this point in time.
You are here for the ritual. All who witness must burn.
Or else?
Or else. And she looks and she looks around, and two of the other like followers of this ritual have now like stopped tending to the line and looked and seen that there is someone who does not want to play along, and they are both looking at you. And I think that Jeff, the heavyset man standing next to you, he starts looking a bit nervous, like what are we doing here? What's going on?
Bright Spider will, in this situation, give Jeff a reassuring pat. He is of quick temper. He cannot be faulted for this. And I will step up to the woman, put a hand on her shoulder, and speak a bit more quietly. And say, "I assure you that this will cause much more of a fuzz if you try to push the matter. Surely the two of us can come to some kind of arrangement. After all, we wouldn't want to disturb this lovely ceremony with something as uncouth as physical violence."
So that's a threat.
Okay.
And as such, I would like you to roll to go aggro on her. So roll plus hard.
That would be a 9.
So on a 9, it's me as the GM who chooses this. So you say this, and she looks around and like she looks at the two other followers of the flame, and they do not seem to be like eager to get into a fight. They seem to be pissed at her for her not doing her job here, and so she looks at you with a, no pun intended, burning gaze, and then she like shoves you backwards, like away from the line, and says, "Then go. If you're not here to participate, you're not here at all."
Then I never was to begin with, and I will promptly walk off.
All right. The line is getting closer and closer to François and Fluffy Betty Jr.
Betty, what's going on? Are they stabbing him?
Yes, they are, and it's up to us to participate or not.
Well, I don't want to stab someone. This is my style.
Well, they just had a standoff with Bright Spider, so I'm not sure if you want to participate in the standoff or just go with it. It's up to you.
Well, I don't want to do it. Why are they harassing Spider? He's a good guest.
True, very true.
You see there's only like 3 or 4 people now, like people who are standing just around you are starting to get like mushed into the line.
Hey, but let's get out of here. Can we just go to the croissant?
I think that's a good idea. We can just turn around and leave.
Yeah. I don't want anything to do with this.
No, I think we're good.
Yeah.
So I think just as you turn around to leave, Bright Spider, you start walking in the same direction next to each other, like just by sheer chance.
Lovely morning, isn't it?
Hey, Mr. Spider.
Evening.
You come for poker on Thursday?
I wouldn't miss it for the life of me. Though, as it does appear, I do have a trouble with lines as of late, so perhaps I might be a bit delayed. Betty, I hope you're doing all right. I heard there was a bit of kerfuffle about this matter involving your own prestiged persona.
Yes, there was. But I handled it like always, so I think I'm good.
The power of brawn, eh, Jeff?
She kills things real good.
Thank you.
That's my Betty.
All right, so the three of you, or the four of you with Jeff, then I assume you head off. But the camera remains on this scene, but now solely from Cindy Sweet's perspective, as we see the last person on the bridge put the scorching iron to this now already sense-long, lifeless body covered in over 100 marks. And when the final scorching happens, Ken walks up to the corpse and with one hand just grabs the pipe that he is tied to and chucks it backwards as this man and the entire apparatus that he was tied to falls into the fire. And we cut from there. So, where do we find you after this ritual?
Well, François is in the cochon, the pub that he runs.
Yeah.
Preparing for evening service.
Meaning working hours have started, so I'm working.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
and
expected.
Fluffy Betty, you are having a rough time tonight as the bouncer. Like, it seems like whatever was going on with the fire ritual has really gotten people, like, riled up. You've already had to, like, punch out 3 people as the night is just getting started.
Good. Yeah,
Yeah.
makes me happy.
Yeah, so
Some things have to.
So I think we see the, like, front doors of the Le Cochon, like, swing open, and we just see you, like, chuck out a person out into the snow.
Yeah, I think that's relatively good.
Yeah.
Cindy, well, I'm in bed
Okay.
with Jeff.
With Jeff. Okay, yeah. Right.
Yes.
That is not the turn of event that I thought we were gonna have today, but
Sometimes you just get lonely, okay? You do what you gotta do, like with
Lonely
the
and cold.
yes, exactly.
Some
Thank
people
you.
get violent, some people don't.
Exactly.
so do we catch you like post intercourse then? Is that what we're talking here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do that.
So Jeff goes, I didn't see you down at the ritual by the bridge.
You weren't meant to.
Fair point. It was a good show. Almost got to punch a fire cultist. Until Bright Spider stopped me, of course.
So why do you follow this Bright Spider? Like, you're so ambitious, you're so competent, you're such a smart guy. Why don't you just do something of your own? Maybe take over.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, like, we've been doing this for quite a while, and I've kind of gotten to know all of you. And you have so many bright ideas. You could, you know, I think you need to be more in charge.
It's true.
Like, really, you should have more responsibility. You're a very resourceful guy and very ambitious. I think you can come up with something great.
Roll to seduce or manipulate.
I got a 5.
You got a 5? So he just looks at you and he says, "Look, I didn't know that this was a pity thing, that we were doing some kind of pity thing here, but I know who I am and I know my place, and Bright Spider will lead us into a glorious cold future. And if you're trying to sabotage that, then and he stands up like pissed off. So then I don't think I can keep meeting you like this.
No, that's not at all what I meant.
I heard what you meant. You want me to take over? Bright Spider has been leading us to great fortune.
Yes, I know that, and like I'm happy for you. It's just like I think you could do with a little more responsibility, and I'm not saying you should. You know.
You know what? You're just trying to manipulate me. I will not have any of this.
I just want what's best for you, please, honey.
And he walks out. He walks out of the room.
What a dick.
So, Bright Spider, where are you?
Bright Spider is at this point joining the festivities at the commonly known slop hole, or the Grey Croissant, which I cannot pronounce in French. Bright Spider does not speak French. But there has been some murmurs, some issues with some people he holds very dear, his family, if you will. But until they can gather later in the evening, he figures he might as well enjoy himself. It's been a trying day. So he passes Betty with a little nod.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Not too rough of an evening, are we?
No. Normal. It's good.
A glass bottle smashes behind you on the wall.
Normal.
Yes, normal.
He proceeds in and weaves through whatever throng of people can be found in there to get to the bar and say hi to his friend François.
How you doing, Spider?
I've been better. Trying day and all that. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Not everyone has the clarity these days to see where we are headed, but all's well that ends well, and it has far from ended.
Yeah.
I hope that bottle was empty, by the way.
Another bottle smashes to the wall.
Yeah, seems so. I'll have someone clean it up later.
What is happening here? I must ask. It seems, sharply dressed fellows yourself, and with Betty on your payroll, I assume there'd be a little bit more calm around these parts.
Well, it's a rough night. Sometimes we have those. People are riled up about the ceremony earlier.
So I've heard. Get me something strong. I must be moving on soon.
Well, we only serve one thing, which
Make it a double.
you got it.
So what is it that you like? Just don't say what it is. Just describe what you present to him here.
So it's white, semi-viscous fluid.
God.
Sort of about the consistency of milk, a little bit thicker, a little fattier. Yeah, yellowish, like eggshell white.
It's just eggnog. You're just
It's
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
I mean, if you look outside, the world is a constant snowstorm, so yes, it is beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
yeah, I don't think it's eggnog. I don't think it's that pleasant. I believe it's fermented pig's milk, which is about the only thing there is to ferment from these parts.
I will be sitting at the bar enjoying it, chatting idly in awaiting the set time later in that evening. Somewhere just after midnight, when most of the sane world should be asleep.
All right. So at the bar, then I assume, Betty, that you what is it you do on an evening? Like, do you patrol around? Are you partaking?
No, I'm mostly stationary at the door. It's the best place to be.
Okay,
Bouncer-wise.
so François.
Yeah.
About 2 hours in to this very rowdy night, you see these two people, and you know them as Baloo and Rouge.
Oh yeah.
And they are members of Kickshirt's gang.
Oh, I don't like that guy.
And Rouge, she just comes stumbling up to the bar, and she goes, "Hey, fuckface.
Hey Rouge, can I help you with something?
Yeah, I want a drink." And Baloo wants a drink too.
Oh yeah, where's Baloo?
And she just nods behind her, and this scrawny guy, kind of Weasley looking guy, he's standing there, and they're both you can see in their eyes that they are both absolutely smashed.
So clearly these two shouldn't have any more to drink. So I pick up a glass. I have my bag of water, which I collected outside earlier. Used to be snow, now it's water. And I fill 2 glasses of water.
Yeah, so Rouge picks up a glass, she takes a sip of it, and she spits it in your face. She's like, what the fuck is this? What game are you playing here? You think you're all fucking high and mighty because you control the alcohol?
That's not very nice, Rouge.
I'm not a very nice person. And she leans across the bar and she grabs you by your shirt collar and tries to pull you forward.
I try to stay cool. And I calmly yell, Miss Betty,
I'm very aware of
can
the
you come over
situation.
here?
Yes. I have looked at the situation the whole time and I was aware of it. But I also know you can make do with yourself for a bit, so I will come.
Would you kindly show these two gentlemen out?
Yes, if they cooperate, I can do that.
Rouge, who's like holding him by the collar, like, you don't talk about me, you talk to me. And I'm not fucking going anywhere. Now you listen here, you better serve me a goddamn drink. And she pulls a pistol, and she's now pointing a gun at you.
You don't get to act like that in my establishment.
And
Put the gun down.
or what?
So I reach for the shotgun that I've conveniently taped under the bar,
Okay.
and I pull it out.
All right. So is this, are you threatening now?
Presumably.
Then go aggro. Roll plus hard. That's a good roll.
I got a 6.
Excellent. So you pull out the shotgun and just like, what do? Do you say anything or do you just point it? Like,
I point it
yeah.
and I say, you're not welcome at my establishment.
She shoots you. You take 2 harm. Everyone in the bar suddenly stops as the sound of pistol fire rings out. And François, like, 2 harm is pretty serious. Like, you start, like, you have to take a few steps back and blood is starting to flow out on your immaculate white clothing. Is that what you have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
White suit with gold details.
Fluffy Betty.
So this will be the moment I realize I definitely underestimated this.
Yeah.
Yes, and then I will have to escort them out very unfriendly because no one hurts François.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Then, like, are you attacking them then? Like,
I would guess so.
yeah,
I mean,
because there's a thing called seize by force, which is when you like use violence to get what you want.
yeah, that's definitely it.
Yeah. So roll plus hard.
So I rolled 4, but I have 3 with it.
You have plus 3 hard.
Yeah,
So 4 plus 3 is 7.
yeah.
So you get a 7 to 9 here. So you get to choose 2 out of these 4 options.
Okay, great.
You inflict terrible harm on them. You suffer little harm yourself because you're gonna take damage.
Yeah,
You take definite and undefined control of the situation, or you impress, dismay, or frighten your enemy. Pick 2.
I'm definitely gonna frighten them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, do you want to deal them terrible harm, take little harm yourself, or take control of the situation?
Take control of the situation.
Okay. So, I think you have 2 armor. It says on your like equipment.
Yeah.
What does it say?
2.
2
Yeah.
armor. Yeah. So, describe what you do to take control of the situation here.
Okay, so first of all, I'm impressive to look at.
You are absolutely.
So that's gonna be a first one. They're gonna be like, oh shit. And then I'm gonna tell them that this is not the way to handle any situation and that you have to keep a cool head no matter how much you had to drink.
So how do you get Rouge's attention in order to? Because I imagine that like Baloo is like standing a little squirrely on the side, and he sees you coming, and I think he just leaves. Like,
Yeah, I think so too.
yeah,
Because I'm impressive to look at. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. And I think I would step too close, so she has to look even more up
yeah,
to actually see me. And then I think I'll be like, this is not how you talk.
yeah.
This is not how you behave. And this is not what you're doing this night. So if you would please leave, and this is the last time it's gonna be asked nicely.
So she looks at you in like a mix of terror and again, like, cause she wasn't really aware of the fact that she was about to shoot François because she's very drunk. So she looks at you, she has her gun in hand, and she pulls the trigger again at you. But since the gun deals 2 damage and you have 2 armor, nothing happens. Like, you take a bullet to the stomach with no effect whatsoever.
Yes.
And she just looks at you fucking terrified.
So this is the moment I then actually grab the gun.
Yeah.
Because I do not in any way agree with this. So I grab the gun and then with the gun in one hand and her in the other hand. I walk to the door and set her out.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons, and I keep the gun, but I let her go.
Okay, so you have stolen a gun from one of Kickshirt's soldiers.
Yes, I think that's a smart move.
So write down on your gear that you have a gun now. I mean, you had plenty of guns before.
I think so too. Yeah.
On account that you were playing the gun lugger, but now you have one more.
Woo.
François, how are you doing?
Not good, presumably.
You are in immense pain.
Yeah, but I'm still trying to follow the situation. I'm just pressing hard on the wound.
Bright Spider, do you want to butt in this this moment?
Bright Spider, having observed this entire proceeding, through the haze of one or two drinks, is at this point not very gracefully, but efficiently climbing over the bar to try and help François and his profusely bleeding wound.
Do you want to try to? Oh right, sorry, we actually forgot. When you suffer harm, you have to make the harm move.
Oh.
So you took 2 harm. So roll 2 dice plus 2. This is going to determine how shitty this wound actually is. This is the only roll in the game where you want as low as possible.
Okay.
So get 2 6s. It'll be great.
4 plus 2.
4 plus 2, so 6. So you get no extra yes, you've taken 2 harm and you are in pain, but you are still cognitive. You're still aware. So you're still in the situation essentially.
All right. So I want to say something to Rouge. How far away is Rouge at this point?
I think Rouge has been chucked out of the establishment quite violently. I think Rouge stumbles out, and by Betty gripping her, I think Betty has broken her shoulder.
All right.
Decent.
So I say, hey Spider, thanks for the help. Betty, can you come over here and help me get up? I need to say something to Rouge.
Okay, so then I just walk you over to the door, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can lean on me in this case.
And Rouge is standing out in the snow, whimpering to Baloo. Oh fuck, I'm so much pain. That woman is a fucking monster. And Baloo is going I know, we gotta play it cool. We should head home. We shouldn't be here right now. And then the doors open and they both look at you, the two of you, with fear in their eyes.
Gentlemen, you shot me in my own establishment. You're gonna tell Kickshirt he's gonna have to make up for this.
Yeah, man, whatever you say, man. Can we go?
Get the fuck out of here.
And they dash out into the snow, stumbling over the frozen pond that is next to the establishment.
While both of them are outside, Bright Spider behind the bar just keeps trying to tend to the customers in François' absence. Just I suppose someone should be serving the alcohol.
Greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, Spider. You're a star.
We're gonna get back to Cindy momentarily, but there's a lot going on in the bar right now. So, Spider, do you have staff, François, that can take over while you are because you're shot? So.
Yeah, I think I have one guy.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's Rolf Ball who is tending to the.
Oh yeah. So, Rolf, can you keep everything running for tonight? I have to.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I can.
I gotta fix this.
Yeah, I'll keep the bar running, man. Oh, yeah, it's cool. I got it. And this very overly eager. He's maybe 16, 17, something like that. Guy. He's a little older. Let's say he's 22, something like that. Very squirrely looking kind of guy. He jumps the bar and just starts flipping bottles behind it, super excited to be doing this.
Thanks, Rolf. You're a sport.
Oh, you got it, Chief. Don't worry about it. I got this under control. So, Bright Spider, after you've been relieved of duty by Rolf Ball here,
no money went missing, I promise.
Oh, cool. What do you do?
Bright Spider realizes that the set hour is closing in, so he's going to start making his way towards the appointed meeting ground of the evening, as it is intended to be a cult gathering. There has been things have been happening, so it is always good to tend to one's flock in these troubling times. So he heads a fair bit away. It's not that far away. It's at Jeff's hog farm.
Oh, okay.
He farms pigs towards the outskirts of the habitable area, so the congregation moves that way. He was told earlier in the evening by Jeff that he was eager to do more for the cult in his current position, so...
It's true. Jeff is a little pissed off, but you arrive at Jeff's hog farm to, describe this place a little better for me. So, paint a picture.
Jeff's hog farm, it has a sign. It's a relatively modest place. It is the remnant of a house from before things went a bit poorly, shall we say. Yeah. It's more off towards the Nydalasjön on fire, but, more foresty than it is open. And it's a rundown building with a very ramshackle fence surrounding a very muddy area in which tramps a lot of hogs.
All right. And as you are walking towards it, it starts to smell terribly. And the smell of Jeff's hog farm, and this is not the smell of Jeff's hog farm.
Troubling, but I'm not entirely sure what could be causing it, so I just quicken the steps.
Yeah.
If there's a dead animal somewhere nearby, I'd rather not stay around it for too long.
Is there a building or something like that you go into?
It's Jeff's dirt basement.
Oh, Jeff's dirt basement, of course.
It's been successively expanded over many years, just piece by piece until it's a relatively large accommodating room.
So you open the way down to the dirt basement, and you hear a slow murmuring of voices coming from down there. And as you walk down the dirt steps, you see, I think, 6 or 7 of the people from your congregation, and they're standing in a circle looking over something, and everyone's talking very quickly to each other.
I'll approach. I have no need to announce myself. I'll instead try and figure out what it is that has drawn their attention. So I just slip up to the back of the crowd, much like I did at the ritual earlier at the bridge, and try to peer over a few shoulders.
So you now hear they're talking about what should we do? Should we tell Bright Spider? Should we what's going on? And someone goes Bright Spider can't do anything about this. And then you look over. And you see that, on the ground is one of your followers, Haywire. And he is lying shirtless on the ground. And he is, his skin is, almost pinkish red. And he is writhing in pain.
Bright Spider will gently part the sea of people that has surrounded him. And
you do, the first person you touch, they, flinch at your touch. Nobody had heard you enter at all, so you almost get sucker punched in the face by the first person who you part.
My child, I assure you there is no need to be frightened. I am here and all shall be put well. Would I be so presumptuous as to acquire what it is I am looking at?
This is Ken's fucking doing, one of your followers says. Look, Haywire is burning up from the inside out. He gets to host his fucking rituals out in public, gets everyone involved, and you think this is not gonna have a backlash on us? Are we just gonna stand there and take it? We heard from Jeff what you did at the bridge.
And what did you hear from Jeff that I did at the bridge, dear child?
Jeff wanted to interrupt the ritual, and you did nothing. We should fuck this guy up.
Would you rather have seen tonight's congregation be without me and our dear Jeff?
We should do something. At least...
Temper yourself, child. Nothing will be accomplished by lashing out violently and mindlessly. If we do, are we any better than those unenlightened that we try to inspire? We must know when to strike.
We should strike now, you hear another voice say. And another person goes, yeah, we waited long enough.
And where do you suggest we do that? Where do you suggest that the 8 of us can do that will not immediately lead to the end of the enlightened and the surefire doom of everyone we are trying to save?
And they look to each other because you, as their leader, are now asking them to make a decision, and none of they're here because they can't make decisions on their own. So they look to each other a little uncertainly, I don't know. And then one person goes like looking at you, brick face, and he says, where should we strike?
Our strike will be subtle, as we are wont to do things. We are not going to scream and rave, raise pitchforks, and be seen as the lunatics they would paint us at. Violence will do nothing but solidify our view, the other's view of us as lesser. Instead, we will go out and we will talk. There's an old saying, it has become less important as of late, but the pen is mightier than the sword. And so, I ask you, my children, why not take this to heart? I would ask that all of us look to those in our vicinity and see who might be receptive to our message. I know we have always done so, but with more fervor. After all, has this incident not incited violence, unrest? Is this not proof that the message they preach is wrong? That the will above, the divine presence, wishes other things for us than this waste of life?
And everyone is like nodding along. You have, as you are wont to do, you have spellbound your audience here, and they go, yeah, no, we shouldn't sink to their level. Yeah.
Rather, we shall try to find those that are receptive. Until our next meeting, as such, I will have a task for all of you here and all of the others who unfortunately couldn't make it. We must find more. We must widen our family. We must open our arms, and they must be brought to a location of sorts. More secretive than our normal congregations, but a chance to enlighten them and change things. Finally.
And people are nodding. And I think we pan from that scene there of you starting to like hand out tasks to these people as I guess Haywire is just left writhing on the floor.
Haywire is dealt with after the immediate rebellion of the people.
Just put some snow on him. It'll be fine.
Chuck him in the cold.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So we see these like large doors that say operating hall on them. Large double doors, and we just see a man, and he's holding a clipboard, and he pushes through these doors, and we see Cindy Sweet's bedroom on the other side. And what are you up to when Golf Ball, your personal spy, comes walking in?
I'm doing my night skincare routine.
Oh God.
Yeah.
We're in the apocalypse and you're still like...
First of all, skin is important.
Sure.
And Cindy knows this. She has very fragile skin. And she also has like some scars on her neck from whipping.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's not a pleasant sight for her, but it's still something she looks at every night.
So like as we see Cindy here, do we see like a bit of like an obsessive side as you're like covering these up, or?
No, they're on full display.
Oh, okay. And this is the first time we're seeing them.
Yes.
And I think that Golf Ball, this older man, is like in his 40s, something like that. He sees what you're doing, and he like very gently turns his head away a little bit, like out of respect for you.
You can look. It's fine.
I've not come here to stare. I've come here to deliver troubling news.
Then do it.
Our neighbor to the south has gotten in touch with us. He claims that your ward attacked 2 of his soldiers.
Does he now?
Seriously hurting one of them. And he is wanting to remind me and to remind you that the truce between the 2 of you stand on a non-violence agreement.
Well, send him this reminder that 3 months ago, he broke Camo's hand. His second in command got into a little fight with Camo, and violence was used. It's called revenge, sweetheart.
I'll pass on the news. I don't think that our dear neighboring warlord will be happy to hear this, but it is as you command.
You know what they say, an eye for an eye, is it not?
Very well.
Good. Go deliver.
And he walks out of the room, as we see you like standing there with all these scars fully showing. Like, how do you look? Like, as soon as he leaves, what's the, like, you had a very calm composure there, but do we see any crack in that? Like,
her shoulders slump down and she can finally drop the ice cold act.
yeah.
She's more fragile now. She's more of a human now. She doesn't have her walls up, and in her bedroom where she's all alone with guards outside, not inside, she can just relax, knowing that she is safer than she used to be. But she's also still on guard.
Okay.
And she's feeling lonely.
Yeah, we look over to the big bed where Jeff used to be. You have some work to do there, and I think that is the final scene for today's episode. We cut to black there as credits roll. Thank you so much for listening, and join us back here next time. There's a lot of things going on. Yeah. I feel.
Yeah.
But I hope you've enjoyed this very first episode and come back next time. Until then, I have been your master of ceremonies, Jakob Säfsten, and with me I've had
Gabrielsson,
Verona,
your creepy cult leader Alexander Sten,
and Tialda.
Thank you so much for listening. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Dicey Performance, which is a part of the Umeå Theatre Company and Umeå Folkuniversitet. This episode is edited by Jakob Säfsten, engineered by Linn Olsson, managed by Joana Velosa, art is by Vincent Ekwall, and PR is by Alex Rader. And the project manager is Jakob Säfsten. You can follow us on Instagram at Dicey Performance or on Twitter at Dicey Perform for more updates, behind-the-scenes photos, and character art. Thank you so much for listening.